Okay. Welcome back, guys. Welcome, ladies and gents, friends and fam. It's not that serious or formal, but yeah, we're back with another reaction video. This one is going to be a difficult one because it's closer to home than most people would probably think, because it could hit anyone. This could hit anyone in the same way it hit this gentleman called Brandon. If you don't know him, if you haven't seen his stuff online, he has been posting kind of like a journal of his experience as a recently hacked retiree, losing $3 million worth of XRP around that. He pretty much has been in crypto since 2017, and he woke up one day and someone had essentially just drained his accounts, drained his wallets. This is the video that he shot about 12 days ago, so it's almost 2 weeks now, but before I get into it, the sound is a little bit rough on this one, so I'll try my best to pause and give some elaboration. I'll try and build off of what he says just to make things clear. I can't tell you. I've actually not wanted to make this video, but I think that it's worth it for the individual that is new to crypto. If you're new to crypto and you're watching this, this might be worth paying attention to. And if you are someone who's been in crypto for as long as Brandon has, this might be a refresher. Don't take these kinds of fine detail bits of instructions for granted, because it could hit anybody. And before I move forward, I just want to make this clear. This is not an opportunity to purport some form of perfection, like I know it all, or I'm far more skilled or knowledgeable than a person like Brandon. Brandon's a boomer. He's clearly savvy enough to have put his crypto on a cold wallet, which is kind of the status quo. That is the mode of operation, the MO for a person who takes their money seriously. If you're going to be using or interacting in crypto or transacting in crypto, you definitely want to secure a cold wallet, because trusting an exchange to do that just leaves you at the mercy of anybody that either hacks that exchange, if the exchange goes down, if blackouts happen, the internet's like gone, like it was a few days ago with the whole AWS thing, or, if, for instance, the exchange that you might be leveraging your assets on is also partaking in leveraging, which most exchanges actually do. If they go bust on a trade, they may do a bail-in, where they essentially have to use or collateralize all the assets that are held on the exchange to cover for their losses. So there's a whole lot of, it's like a wormhole, like it's a Pandora's box, if I may, kind of situation if you leave your assets on a hot wallet or on an exchange. So kudos to Brandon for even thinking as far as going and securing his assets on a cold wallet. The one that he was using specifically was an Ellipal. Obviously, he's going to explain it in detail here, but I'm only just giving you I'm prefacing this just because, man, I'm prefacing this just because the sound may not be the best, because I think this was his first video on YouTube, and YouTube takes getting used to. I would know. But let's go ahead and see what he says here.
Hi, this is my second try at this video. I've never done one before. So my name is Brandon. I live in North Carolina. It's my first video, and the reason I'm doing it was never believed in my whole life. Never thought I'd be doing a YouTube video. Never thought I'd be doing a YouTube video about this. I'll give you a big part first, and I'll explain what happened. I've been in crypto since 2017. I've been accumulating XRP for the past 8 years. I've accumulated over 1.2 million XRP, which is worth over $3 million now.
Jeez.
I had it on a cold wallet. It's called an Ellipal cold wallet, and I thought I did all the things right. I didn't write down. I kept it as safe. I don't give it to anybody over the phone. I don't answer phone calls like that. I thought I did a pretty good job. I'm not the most...
Okay, he's an OG, essentially. He's been in crypto for about 8 years, 2017. It's a very sacred time to have been introduced to crypto. It was one of the best years in crypto history. One of the best crypto cycles for sure. He did the right thing by getting a cold wallet. He wrote it down. He kept it in a safe. Now, after watching this for the first time, I put together a quick guide. It's a free guide. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to access it. But it's essentially just a 4-step pick me up on steps you should be taking when using a cold wallet, and especially when securing your seed phrases. So he's just essentially told you that guide in the past 30 seconds here that he got the cold wallet, he wrote his seed phrase down, he secured it in a safe, and he didn't tell anyone on the phone this information. So he's checked off, I think, about 50% of the items that he's supposed to be checking off. And yeah, I don't fault him at all. Like, I know he's kicking himself, obviously, not probably happy about what's happened in his life, but he did everything he was supposed to. And we'll get to the why or the how he got hacked in a few minutes here.
About a year ago, I retired. My wife and I retired. We were planning on moving out to Las Vegas and buying a house. She was actually supposed to go look at one next week. This morning I woke up and all my XRP's been stolen, been hacked.
Still have goosebumps from this.
I don't check my wallet every day. I watch the price 24 hours a day.
That's a guilty vice of most crypto holders, for sure. If you've been in the space for a long enough time, you definitely have an application that pushes notifications for price alerts, a CoinMarketCap or a CoinGecko. Some people even have like a live coin watch on their computers or desktops as well. So pick your poison. Like, you're definitely, if you're a disciplined investor, you don't want to actually dabble too much. You don't want to trade too much. You want to hold, stack and pack away is what we call it, stack and pack. But for the odd chance that you want to confirm a particular signing on a contract, or take some profits off the table, it's a good thing to also polish up and sharpen your skills of how to access your cold wallet. So I think it was actually a miracle that he checked his, because if he doesn't check it daily, which most people don't, heck, I don't even think people check their bank accounts as much, probably because of inflation. What's the point of checking a bank account? Oh, well, anyway, he definitely didn't have an idea that he was getting hacked. So what he's essentially explaining is it wasn't his common practice to access his wallets on a daily basis, even though he checked the price of the assets that he's invested in probably 2 or 3 times, maybe even 10 times a day. Depending on how you set up your own monitoring system, if you have push notifications coming from an application, that's most likely what he also partook in. So yeah, that's normal.
Wallet every day. The last time I checked it was Saturday, and I checked it this morning at 4:30, and it looks like on Sunday morning somebody removed 10 XRP, then they removed 2 minutes later, around 11:15 Eastern time, they removed 10 XRP, and then a couple minutes later they removed another 209,000 XRP. They sent it to one wallet.
The savages tested first. They're like, yeah, let's just suss this out. The irony, by the way. Let's suss this out. Let's just make sure that no one's paying attention to this wallet. Take 10 out, because I mean, what's 10 if you have a million? Like, no one's paying attention. We don't even pay attention to subscriptions on our bank accounts. No one is going to be paying attention to 10 XRP missing from their $1 million XRP wallet. Million unit XRP wallet. That's insane. But yeah, that's how it works. Like, they check to see if you have systems in place first, and then if the coast is clear, there are no alerts that are connected to that account and nothing has been blocked, they go in for the kill, and they do it quickly. He said 2 minutes.
It's been created a few minutes earlier, and then they turn around and sent all that 1,290,000, they sent it out to about 30 different wallets. They sent it out, some in groups of 40,000, some in groups of 38,000 to different wallets.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that would love to get their hands on 40,000 XRP right now. Just put that into perspective. Right now, the current price, if you don't have any exposure to the market at all, 40,000 XRP is a godsend kind of situation, right? So he's just mentioning, or he's going in depth on a particular tactic that these hackers employed, which is called mixing. They take the target wallet, they disperse the funds that they took from that wallet into different wallets elsewhere, and then they redistribute them again. So like, he's going to go in depth and explain that they sent it to 40, and then those 40 went to hundreds more Good luck finding any of that. Now, you may ask yourself, how does Brandon know? He's admitted himself he's not the most computer literate person. But again, he's an OG, so he has the devices, the resources, or the knowledge to identify or track these kinds of things. He's obviously the owner of his own wallet. There's this website called XRP Scan. It's essentially a reflection of all transactions on the XRP ledger. And it's similar to Ethereum's Etherscan, which is a reflection of all transactions on that particular blockchain. Mind you, Ethereum's blockchain has a lot more of a, intricate reading of transactions in different layers because it has smart contract capabilities, which I guess XRP Ledger is now just waking up to. I mean, over the past couple of years, at least I know that a lot of developers have been working on that. Okay, doesn't matter. Brandon was able to check the activity on his account using the XRP Scan website. And mind you, anybody can do this. You just need the actual address. It doesn't actually show the name, but if you know the address, just like, back in the day, if you're in school, Scantron, like if you filled in your Scantron for a test and your ID number, it doesn't necessarily have your name and grade, but it has your ID number and your grade. I remember that back in the day. We all dreaded checking our grades, but you win some, you lose some. That's essentially the mindset or the logic behind XRP Scan that still gives a little bit of a level of anonymity around the ownership of that particular wallet. But I mean, for those who know, you can reverse engineer that stuff. So they mixed it. They sent it to pretty much new wallets and spread it all over the place. And long story short, that ended up probably in someone's or a group of people's account somewhere. But that's up to the FBI to find out. Hopefully AI and all these forensic investigators are able to help this guy out, because that's devastating.
And then when it went to those wallets, they sent it out to more wallets. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't get a exact count. My guess is somewhere between 500 and 900 wallets. I guess it's called mixing or something.
500 and 900 wallets, in case you didn't hear that. It's called mixing. For the interest of time, there's the video that actually makes this worth watching, in my opinion, is the in-depth and more polished video that he gave a few days later, which is the email from Ellipal. It's a full story about the $3 million worth of XRP hack so far. So he goes in depth. Again, go subscribe to this guy's account and just follow his journey. It's very humbling. But yeah, he goes in depth here. And I think about the 8-minute mark, if I'm correct, this part, it describes what Ellipal's features of a hot versus cold wallet are. I mean, they help him distinguish that. But again, no one's paying attention to this stuff. And it's not a fault of Brandon. It's not a direct fault of Brandon per se, but it's something worth noting that, fine print is everything.
Open it every day. And I opened it the Wednesday morning around 4:30 a.m. and I noticed all my XRP was gone. Of course, I thought it was a glitch because I've seen glitches before. And you know, of course, for that initial panic, you're like, oh, never mind, it's theirs.
Yeah, glitches happen on these cold wallets sometimes. So all it takes is sometimes a firmware update or a device update, and it should be good to go. Or sometimes these systems don't communicate because of some interferences. So updating must hopefully refresh that process. Again, note to self: cold wallets are the best, or one of the best lines of defense when it comes to securing and custodying your assets, your digital assets. So let's go on.
I could see it on the XRP scan. I could see that it's there, so I'm not worried about it. So I went over to XRP scan and I was like, holy crap. This was this past Wednesday, which was, I think it was the 15th. I can't quite remember. Days are blurred.
So this happened on October 15th, man. October 15th was a very busy day for a lot of people, I'll tell you right now. Man, okay, so I want to get to the part where he talks about the email he got.
With law enforcement, they're doing what they can. I know they don't own XRP. I mean, they own XRP, but they don't own all the XRP. We do. He told me, they said, what wallet are you using?
Here we go.
Are you using the hot wallet or the cold wallet? And then in parentheses, beside hot wallet, orange background, cold wallet, blue background.
Common sense will tell me that I was right about those colors, orange versus blue.
When they sent me this email, my heart drop in my stomach. I didn't know there was a hot wallet on it. I didn't know that. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot. Did you guys know this? If you use the Ellipal, did you know that there's a hot wallet and a cold wallet? I mean, I thought that was the whole point. I thought that when I got my cold wallet, my seed...
This story must not be good for Ellipal's business at all. On top of the fact, there was an updated video that he put out that they came out saying that they have actually disabled the hot wallet feature completely for all users. So anyone using an Ellipal and the hot wallet feature is something that you transact with on a regular basis, you might want to go check to confirm that it's actually still working, because that's been shut off now. And I'm guaranteeing you it's because of the virality of this guy's story, in addition to a couple other people's experiences as well, I'm sure. But if enough people are raising a stink about something like a feature that literally leaves them at risk of being hacked, I don't think I'd be using that much longer, to be honest. I don't think I'd be using that company or endorsing them at all. Not financial advice.
That as long as they didn't get a hold of my seed phrases and my private keys, I was safe.
Right.
I didn't know using the app could do that. And I will explain to you what I think happened in a few minutes. So my heart dropped. So of course I looked at my phone. My phone has a blue background, which I'm going to show you. I took a screenshot of it and I'm going to try to put it up here. I don't know if you guys can see that or
so that's
not.
his
Blue background on my phone, and I have it on my iPad.
I'm going to show you the iPad now. That's orange.
Background.
So the iPad is what had the issue.
That's my XRP wallet. It's orange on my iPad.
Look at that.
Blue.
Did you see that transaction? That's minus 1.2 million XRP. That's like back of the barn shotgun type stuff. That's terrible.
Is that possible? I don't understand.
That's terrible.
I mean, I don't understand it. The balances always showed the same amount on the blue one or the orange.
You know what? At the end of the day, it's a lesson to learn from. It's important that we maintain optimism. You learn lessons, big or small. It's how you actually, move on from them, how you actually implement that knowledge, that wisdom, and improve from it. So I respect Brandon even more for putting out this information, for sharing his experience, because it will give anyone who's watching this the opportunity to see that there's life beyond, material things like XRP, which is essentially just internet money, which is poof. I can just think of Matthew McConaughey doing his like poof pixie dust, like it's that whole thing of, it's not real, your health is real, your family's real, the things that bring you joy are real, tangible stuff, like literally go touch grass, go for a walk, breathe in fresh air. The concept or, perception of freedom for you is what is real, not stuff you have on a screen, which you can't even touch, technically speaking. But then again, he's also a person who has diversified his funds. I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned that in this cut, but I think I might have been discussing that with my wife. Yeah, he invests in precious metals as well, and I think he let go of a few silver rounds just to make ends meet or pay for bills, because that's the stage in which he's at right now. He has to look at different means to cover for his expenses. So yeah, I digress again. Orange is hot, blue is cold, and yeah.
It didn't matter. Also, when I found this out about the hot wallet hack, yesterday I went on Reddit, and you can do the same thing. I went on Reddit and I Googled Ellipal hot wallet hack, and I saw that on September 1st of this year, 3 other people had the exact same thing happen. I don't know if it was because of hot wallet or not, but
hackers are desperate. Do not press on links. Don't leave your stuff on hot wallets, clearly. Don't leave your assets on exchanges, and make sure that you're keeping your cold wallet etiquette sharpened. Make sure that you know how to work your way around a cold wallet. A lot of this stuff seems daunting, like, oh my goodness, I'll just trust a bank to take care of all this stuff. No problem. They're coming up with laws which will essentially give you the opportunity to keep your assets at a bank at some point, depending on which bank you're tied to. I think they're trying to do this all in one sweep as opposed to piecemealing it. There are a few brokers that have the ability to do that for you now. Most people aren't aware of which ones are the best based on which rates they offer, what kind of terms they give. But yeah, tough situation for sure. But to take away from this, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier already. Again, just follow this page on Instagram. Follow me, FutureTrendToday on Instagram. There's a video that has the quotation of cold on it, you're going to get a free guide if you actually comment cold in the comment section of that video. And it's just literally an image. It's not a PDF, not a link. I try to keep things simple so that you're not also putting yourself at risk. I'm not a person that presses links without caution, if that makes sense. You know, do my best to run VPNs, do my best to avoid phishing attempts in my email. I do my best, but this could happen to anyone. So again, Brandon's experience is not, it's not exclusive to him. It could be anybody. It could be me. It could be you if you're watching this, but it doesn't mean that you should not secure your bag off the internet. Cold wallets are a good line of defense. Just make sure you don't use Ellipal's hot wallet feature, if that makes sense. If you're catching what I'm putting down.
One of them said he had 10 Bitcoin stolen. The other one said he had 15. The other one said he had 30.
10 Bitcoin stolen. This guy had $3 million worth of XRP stolen. 10 Bitcoin would be about, you know, that whole $1 million mark. So yeah, he's definitely leading the pack, unfortunately, with his loss. But yeah, I pray that he and his wife find solutions pretty soon here. I'll give you a rundown here. Don't keep your things, again, I'm going to harp this out. This is not financial advice, but this is, you know, what I'll tell my twin, my wife, my past self, which thankfully I'm assuming as of this, the recording of this video, I'm still good. Keep things simple, keep things boring, keep your assets off of exchanges unless you need to. But don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Sometimes it's important to keep, you know, your seed phrases split. You know, you have a few words put in a safe, a few words put in a safety deposit box, a few words with your grandma in her floorboard under her furnace, which you have no idea, that she has no idea about because, well, you've fireproofed it or something. Just think creatively and just make sure that you do not get caught slipping. Yeah, I think I'm going to pause here because I can't take this anymore. It's kind of tough to watch. Again, for anyone who's experiencing this kind of situation, reach out to a friend or law enforcement to get that stuff taken care of, because I think they have resources now to track people that do this kind of stuff. So from a forensic perspective, do your research, plan ahead, make sure you take care of your health, your fitness, your mental health is incredibly important. And I, again, really admire what Brandon's doing here with his video. If you're watching this, I'm going to try to put out another reaction video or two before the end of the week, but I got a couple really good ones that you guys sent. I got one in DM on Instagram from a follower, which was rather interesting. And I also got a heads up about the incoming, I think it's a fireside chat between Michael Saylor, Brad Garlinghouse, CZ, and someone else at the Binance Business Week or something, Crypto Week. Something big is happening this week regarding that, so that's definitely something we'll be following. But from one future-focused individual to yourself, if you're watching this, the future is still bright. Secure your assets offline. Lock in. Stay optimistic. Do not get too tied to your bag, but at the same time, pay attention to what's changing. Because a lot's changing. It's not status quo anymore. You can't tell me this is 2021 hype that we're dealing with. No, we're dealing with a situation where once the US government shutdown is solved, it's almost like letting the gates down and watching a bunch of greyhounds run down the track. It might very well be that way for institutions, and they're going to snap up whatever's available. So the music is still playing. Find a chair, sit in it before the music stops. Lock in. Have a good one. God bless.